Her eyes were drawn to a figure standing alone by the large viewport. The alien woman stood nearly 7 feet tall with luminescent purple skin that seemed to shimmer with tiny stars. Her features were delicate, almost human, except for the slight ridge along her forehead and the large almond-shaped eyes that reflected the starlight outside. Mia recognized her as a Lycian, a species known for their beauty, intelligence, and telepathic abilities. They rarely interacted with humans, preferring the company of other telepathic species. Without thinking, Mia found herself walking toward the Lycian woman. Something about her solitude amid the celebration sparked Mia's curiosity. "Excuse me," Mia said. The Lycian turned, her iridescent eyes shifting from silver to deep blue. Mia felt her breath catch. "I'm Mia Rogers from Earth Delegation." The Lycian woman studied her for a moment. "I am Celine, third daughter of House Zara," she said, her voice melodic and clear. "We do not often speak with humans. Your minds are too loud and chaotic for our comfort." Mia smiled apologetically. "Then why are you at this celebration?" Surrounded by so many loud minds, a slight curve appeared on Celine's lips. Not quite a smile, but close. "I serve as cultural attaché. My task is to understand other species, even those whose thoughts overwhelm us. The real question is, why does a junior Earth diplomat approach a Lycian when most of your kind avoid us?" Mia shrugged. "I saw you standing alone. I thought you might want company. Humans don't like being alone at parties, I guess." I projected. "Interesting." Celine tilted her head. The Lycian gestured to the stars beyond the viewport. "Do you know what we see when we look at your planet?" Mia shook her head. "A beacon." Celine said softly, "Your species broadcasts emotions and thoughts like no other in the galaxy. Most find it exhausting. We find it fascinating, if somewhat overwhelming." The ship's alert system chimed softly, signaling the transition to the dinner portion of the evening. Mia hesitated, not wanting to end their conversation. "Would you like to sit together?" she asked. I promised to try keeping my thoughts quieter. Celine studied her for a long moment. "I would find that acceptable," she finally said. Throughout dinner, Mia learned about Lycian culture, their crystal cities, their art forms based on telepathic impressions, their complex family structures. Celine spoke with increasing animation as she described her homeworld. To Mia's surprise, she found the Lycian asking questions about Earth-human emotions and the human experience of music and arts. The evening progressed. They moved to the observation deck where they could speak more privately. "You are different from other humans, I've observed," Celine said. "You make an effort to organize your thoughts. They flow in patterns rather than chaotic bursts. Have you trained in mental disciplines?" Mia laughed. "Just a lot of meditation. My mother insisted I learn to quiet my mind. I had trouble focusing as a child." Celine nodded appreciatively. "Such training is rare among your kind. This explains why I find your presence less taxing than most humans." Mia felt an unexpected warmth at the compliment. "Is that why Lycians avoid humans? Because our thoughts are too chaotic?" Partly. Celine gazed at the stars. "Our species values harmony and order. The human mind seems to thrive on contradiction and conflict. You feel joy and sorrow simultaneously. You doubt and believe. You love and fear the same person. These contradictions create mental dissonance that we find difficult to process." The ship suddenly lurched, throwing Mia forward. Celine caught her with surprising strength. The alert system blared with warning tones. "Emergency alert. All personnel return to quarters. Unidentified vessels approaching. Defensive positions activated." Mia steadied herself. "What is happening?" Celine looked grim. "Pirates possibly, or rebels against the Union." "Stay close to me." They made their way through corridors, filling with panicked diplomats and crew. Celine moved with graceful efficiency, leading Mia away from the main hallways. The starship rocked again, harder this time. The lights flickered and dimmed. "We are being boarded," Celine said. Her eyes had shifted to a deep purple. "Our security has been breached." "How do you know?" Mia asked. "I sense their minds," Celine replied. "Vicious, chaotic, focused on violence and greed. They will take hostages. The diplomats will be valuable to them. Fear gripped Mia, but she forced herself to think clearly. We need to reach the emergency shuttles. They are on level 3. Celine shook her head. Too obvious. They will secure those areas first. We must hide until help arrives. A group of armed figures appeared at the end of the corridor. They wore mismatched armor and carried energy weapons, their faces covered by tactical masks. Celine pulled Mia into a service alcove, pressing her slender finger to her lips. The pirates passed by, but one stopped near their hiding place. He turned slowly, scanning the area. Mia held her breath, trying to still her racing heart, knowing that her fear might broadcast to Celine and possibly to the intruder. The pirate moved closer, his weapon raised. Mia saw Celine close her eyes in concentration. The pirate suddenly stiffened, shook his head, then moved on to join his companions. Did you do something to him? Mia whispered when they were alone. Celine nodded. I created confusion in his mind, a simple redirection. Lysians do not typically use our abilities this way, but circumstances required intervention. They moved through the service corridors, avoiding the main areas where pirates were rounding up diplomats. Celine seemed to know exactly which routes to take to avoid detection. How are you tracking them? Mia asked. I sense their minds, Celine explained. They project aggression and focus very strongly. Humans are not the only species with loud thoughts. They reached a secure communications room that had been overlooked in the attack. Mia used her diplomatic codes to access the emergency system. Need to alert Galactic Union forces, she explained as she worked. I can send a coded distress signal. As Mia sent the signal, Celine stood watch at the door. Her body suddenly tensed. They come, she whispered. Hide. Before Mia could respond, the door slid open. 3 armed pirates entered, weapons raised. Mia ducked behind a console, but she knew they had seen her. Come out now, one pirate growled, or we start shooting. Mia looked desperately at Celine. The Lysian stood perfectly still, her eyes now glowing with an intense purple light. The pirates stopped moving, their weapons lowered slowly. What are you doing to us? One managed to say, his voice strained. Celine spoke, her voice echoing strangely. You will leave this room. You will return to your ship. You will remember nothing of us. The pirates turned and walked out, moving like puppets. Celine slumped against the wall, her purple skin paling to lavender. That was difficult, she said weakly. Many Lysians working together can influence minds, but alone it requires great energy. Mia rushed to her side, helping her to sit. Are you all right? Celine nodded slowly. I will recover, but we must move. They will realize something happened to their companions. Union forces arrived 2 hours later, driving the pirates away. The diplomatic ball had turned into a hostage situation, with most of the representatives captured. Only a few, including Mia and Celine, had evaded capture. In the aftermath, as the diplomats were freed and medical teams treated the injured, Mia sat with Celine in the medical bay. You saved us, Mia said quietly. I never knew Lysians could do that. Celine looked troubled. We do not speak of such abilities. It is forbidden to use them against other sentient beings, except in the most extreme circumstances. This will create complications with my people. Mia took her hand impulsively. Thank you. The gesture seemed to surprise Celine, but she did not pull away. Instead, her fingers curled around Mia's, and for a moment they sat in silence, understanding that something significant had changed between them. Now I'll create part 2. 3 days after the pirate attack, the Celestial Voyager docked at Harmony Station, the massive space platform that served as headquarters for the Galactic Union. Mia and Celine had spent much of that time together, discussing their cultures, comparing their worlds, and building a friendship that puzzled many of the other diplomats. Humans and Lysians rarely formed close bonds. Celine was summoned to meet with the Lysian High Council representatives stationed on Harmony. Mia watched her go with concern, knowing that Celine's use of telepathic abilities during the attack violated Lysian cultural taboos. I will find you after, Celine promised, her eyes shifting to a warm amber color that Mia had learned indicated affection. While waiting, Mia received her own summons. The Earth ambassador, Grace Chen, wanted a full report on the incident Mia had worked under Ambassador Chen for 2 years and respected her diplomatic skill. Ambassador Chen was a tall, imposing woman with silver-streaked hair and sharp eyes that seemed to miss nothing. "Mia, you have become quite the topic of discussion," she said as Mia entered her office. "The Lycian cultural attaché risked much to protect you. It wasn't just me," Mia explained. "She protected the ship and the mission." Chen nodded, studying Mia carefully. "The Lycians are deeply private about their telepathic abilities. Rarely do. They intervene so directly in the affairs of other species, Celine must have had compelling reasons." Mia felt herself flush under the ambassador's scrutiny. "We formed a connection at the diplomatic ball. We were talking when the attack happened." "A connection," the ambassador repeated with raised eyebrows. "Interesting. The Lysians have kept humans at a distance since first contact. They find our minds too chaotic, too emotional. Yet Celine sought you out." "She didn't exactly seek me out," Mia said. I approached her. "Even more interesting," Chen leaned forward. "You should know that the Lycian Council is concerned. They believe Celine may have been compromised by extended contact with human emotions." "What does that mean?" Mia asked, alarmed. "The Lysians believe that prolonged exposure to human minds can affect their telepathic balance. Their cultural attachés typically rotate duties frequently to avoid such exposure. Celine has requested to remain in her position, specifically to continue diplomatic relations with Earth." Mia felt a mix of hope and worry. "Is that unusual? Unprecedented would be more accurate." Chen said, "The Lycian Council fears she may have developed an unhealthy fascination with humans. Specifically with you, Mia, didn't know how to respond." The idea that Celine had requested to stay because of their connection filled her with warmth, but she worried about the consequences for the Lycian woman. Ambassador Chen sighed. "This puts us in a delicate position. The Lycians are valuable allies, but they remain mysterious to us. This could be an opportunity to strengthen relations between our species, or it could create a diplomatic incident. I need you to proceed with caution." "Yes," Ambassador Mia agreed. Chen stood signaling the end of their meeting. "One more thing. Mia, the Lycian Council has approved Celine's request with conditions. They want to study this connection between you. They believe it may help them understand humans better." When Mia left the ambassador's office, she found Celine waiting in the corridor. The Lycian woman looked tired, her normally luminescent skin dimmer than usual. "What happened?" Mia asked. Celine gestured for them to walk. They moved toward the station's garden dome, a vast enclosed space filled with plants from dozens of worlds. "My actions during the attack have been reviewed," Celine said as they walked. "The direct telepathic influence I used on the pirates is considered a grave violation of our ethical code. Are you being punished?" Mia asked. Celine stopped beside a pool where floating lights drifted across the surface. "Not in the way you imagine," she said. "The Council is concerned that my judgment was compromised by prolonged exposure to human emotions. Specifically your emotions." Mia remembered Ambassador Chen's words. "This is my fault." No, Celine turned to face her. "Our minds connected in a way that is unusual between our species. You think in patterns that resonate with Lycian thought structures. Your mental discipline creates harmony that attracts rather than repels. You are unique." Mia Rogers Celine reached out hesitantly, her slender fingers almost touching Mia's face. "May I show you something? It requires a mental connection." Mia nodded and Celine's cool fingertips touched her temples. Suddenly, Mia felt a presence in her mind, gentle and shimmering like sunlight on water. Images flowed between them. Mia saw the world through Celine's eyes. Humans glowing with chaotic energy, stars singing in the void, crystal cities where thoughts flowed like rivers. Emotions followed understanding, awe, curiosity, and something deeper, something like longing. When Celine withdrew her hand, Mia gasped. The connection faded, but not completely. A faint awareness of Celine remained, a subtle presence at the edge of her consciousness. "What was that?" Mia whispered. "Surface bonding," Celine explained. the beginning of how Lycians connect with those close to them. We rarely share this with other species. Why me, Celine looked away, her skin shimmering with patterns that seemed to reflect her emotions. The council believes I have been contaminated by human chaos. They fear I have lost my objectivity. They have ordered me to return to Lycia for purification and retraining. Maya's heart sank. You have to leave unless Selene's eyes met hers, shining silver now. There is an alternative. The council has proposed a research exchange. They wish to study our unusual connection. If we agree, you would come to Lycia with me. Go to Lycia. Mia repeated, stunned. No human had ever visited the Lycian homeworld. The telepathic species kept their planet private, allowing only a few select allies to establish embassies there. Yes, Celine confirmed. You would be the first human to visit our world outside of official embassy personnel. You would live among my family, House Zara. They would observe our connection and determine if it offers new possibilities for human-Lycian relations, and if they determine your judgment is still compromised. Mia asked. Celine looked troubled. Then I would undergo the purification process. All memories of our connection would be removed. The thought of Celine forgetting her sent a wave of pain through Mia. So intense was her reaction that Celine flinched clearly, sensing it through their new bond. I am sorry. Selene said I should not have initiated the bond knowing what might come. No, Mia took Selene's hand. I want to go with you. I want to see your world. Selene looked surprised. Are you certain the council expects you to refuse? They believe humans value independence too much to submit to such observation. Maya smiled. They're about to learn that humans can surprise them. Ambassador Chen was skeptical when Mia requested permission to join the Lycian research exchange. This is unprecedented, she said. You understand the risks. You'll be surrounded by telepaths on a world where humans have almost no presence. I understand, Mia said. But this could open doors for human-Lycian relations. It could change everything. Chen studied her. You have feelings for her, don't you? Mia didn't deny it. There is a connection, I can't explain it, but it's important. The ambassador sighed. I cannot order you not to go, but I need you to remember that you'll be representing Earth every moment you're there. The Lycians will judge all humans by your actions. 2 weeks later, Mia stood in the departure bay of Harmony Station. A sleek Lycian vessel waited to transport them to the homeworld. Celine stood beside her, dressed in the formal robes of House Zara, shimmering fabrics that seemed to flow like water. Are you ready? Celine asked. As I'll ever be, Mia replied, as they boarded the ship. Celine spoke softly. My people believe that minds that naturally harmonize are destined to meet across the stars. They call it soul resonance. It is very rare, even among Lycians. Is that what happened to us? Mia asked. Celine took her hand. We shall see. The journey to understanding has only begun. Now I'll create. Part 3. The Lycian vessel emerged from hyperspace above a planet that shimmered like an opal against the blackness of space. Mia pressed her hands against the viewport, drinking in her first view of Lycia. The world below was mostly ocean with archipelagos of islands and 2 main continents. Clouds swirled in patterns too perfect to be natural. The atmosphere is partially guided by atmospheric harmonizers. Celine explained, sensing Mia's wonder. We shape weather patterns to benefit all regions. It reduces natural disasters and ensures equitable rainfall. The ship descended through layers of clouds toward the larger continent. As they broke through the cloud cover, Mia gasped. The landscape below was dominated by crystalline structures that caught the light of Lycia's sun. Some rose like mountains from the ground. Others spread in delicate networks like frozen rivers. The cities blended seamlessly with the natural environment. Those are your cities? Mia asked. Selene nodded. The crystal structures serve as amplifiers and filters for our telepathic communications. They also harness solar energy. Our cities grow rather than being built. Each new extension is cultivated over decades. The ship landed on a platform extending from a cluster of tall crystal spires. The structures shimmered with internal light. giving the impression of massive living jewels. House Zara awaits us, Selene said as they disembarked. Mia could feel the Lysian woman's nervous energy through their bond. Remember, most Lysians have never interacted directly with humans. Their expectations and perceptions will be based on diplomatic reports and cultural studies. A group of Lysians approached, all tall and graceful with the same luminescent purple skin as Selene, though with varying patterns and intensity. Their eyes ranged from silver to deep violet. Mia noticed they moved in perfect coordination without speaking to each other. Selene stepped forward and made a gesture with her hands. Third daughter of House Zara returns with the human observer as requested. An older Lysian with intricate patterns swirling across her skin stepped forward. Her eyes were deep violet, almost black. Mia sensed power and authority radiating from her. Welcome home. Daughter, the elder Lysian said. Her gaze turned to Mia, human. You are the first of your kind to be invited into a great house. You may call me Elder Varia. I lead house. Zara Mia bowed. Thank you for allowing me to visit your world, Elder Varia. I am honored by your hospitality. The elder studied her with intensity. Mia felt a gentle pressure against her mind, not invasive, but curious. Interesting, she finally said. Your mind has structure unusual for your species. Selene chose well for her experiment. The elder turned and the group followed her into the crystal structure. Mia walked beside Selene, feeling increasingly self-conscious with each step. She could sense the other Lysians at the periphery of her awareness, like shadows moving just out of sight. Are they reading my thoughts? She whispered to Selene. The council has reached a decision, Elder Varia said. The bond between Selene of House Zara and Mia Rogers of Earth will be severed. The third daughter will undergo purification to restore proper thought patterns. The human will return to Earth with memory modifications to remove any telepathic sensitivity acquired during this exchange. No. Selene stepped forward, her voice ringing through the chamber with unusual emotion. I reject the council's decision. Gasps echoed through the hall. Mia felt shock, radiating from the assembled Lysians. Clearly such defiance was unprecedented. You forget yourself, daughter elder. Varia said, her voice cold. The council decides what is best for our people. With respect, Elder Selene replied. The council is wrong. Our bond represents not contamination but evolution. Not weakness but strength. Mia stood near Mia protectively. For millennia, we have isolated ourselves, believing our telepathic gifts made us vulnerable to the emotions of other species. We feared contamination by their chaotic thoughts. But what if that fear has prevented our growth? Selene turned to address the full council. The humans embrace contradiction and emotional complexity. Their minds contain beautiful chaos that drives creativity and innovation, qualities our society has sacrificed for harmony and order. I have experienced this firsthand through my bond with Mia. I am not diminished but expanded. One of the council members rose, his skin darkening with anger. You speak of expansion, but we see only degradation. Your human has altered your thought patterns, your emotional responses. You are becoming less Lysian. I, Selene challenged. Or am I becoming more? Did our ancestors not teach that growth comes through new experience, through challenge? Our history speaks of the mind song, the telepathic chorus that would one day unite all sentient beings. How can such unity come if we fear difference? Another council member spoke. The human cannot remain on Lycia. Her presence disrupts the telepathic harmony of our world. Already others near her report unusual thought patterns. Then I will leave with her. Selene's declaration sent another shockwave through the chamber. Elder Varia stood, her authority filling the room. You would abandon your house, your people for this human. Not abandon, Selene replied. I would build a bridge. The Galactic Union falters because species cannot truly understand each other. Our telepathy could bridge that gap if we allowed it. But first we must overcome our fear. Mia felt a surge of courage step forward to stand beside Celine. "If I may speak," she said. All eyes turned to her, many showing surprise at her boldness. "You fear that human emotions will contaminate your harmony," she said. "I understand that fear. But consider, this your society values unity, perfect synchronization of thought. But true harmony in music comes not from identical notes played together, but from different notes that complement each other. The most beautiful compositions contain both consonance and dissonance. Each strengthens the other." Mia gestured to the assembled Lysians. "Your telepathic abilities give you unique perspective. You can understand others in ways humans can only dream of. Yet you limit that gift by using it only among yourselves. The Galactic Union needs mediators who can truly understand different perspectives. What greater purpose could there be for your abilities?" Elder Varia studied Mia with new intensity. "The human speaks with wisdom, unusual for her kind," she finally said. "But wisdom does not change reality. Your bond threatens our way of life. If others follow this path, if other bonds form between our peoples, the telepathic purity of our collective consciousness could be compromised." Another council member rose, her eyes silver with age. "We have reviewed the historical archives," she said. "There are precedents, though ancient. When our ancestors first developed telepathy, they too feared outside influence. They too sought to preserve purity. Yet our most revered philosopher Zoral taught that telepathy without empathy becomes stagnant. A pool without fresh water grows toxic with time." Debate erupted among the council members. Mia and Celine stood together as arguments flowed around them. Through their bond, Mia felt Celine's determination and beneath it fear not for herself, but for what might happen to Mia. Finally, Elder Varia raised her hand for silence. "The council stands divided on this matter," she announced. "Therefore we will invoke the ancient right of demonstration. Celine of House Zara and Mia Rogers of Earth will demonstrate the value of their bond. If they can prove its worth to our people, the bond will remain. If they fail, both will submit to the councils." Original decision. The elder turned to them. "You have one full cycle of our largest moon to prepare. The demonstration will take place before the full council, and representatives of all great houses choose your challenge wisely." As they left the council chamber, Celine led Mia to a quiet garden where crystal formations created a private space. "What is this demonstration?" Mia asked. Celine sat beside a pool of luminescent water. "An ancient tradition rarely invoked," she explained. "When the council cannot reach consensus, those who challenge their authority may prove their case through action rather than words. We must choose a challenge that demonstrates the value of our bond, something that shows how the connection between human and Lysian benefits both our peoples." "What kind of challenge?" Mia wondered. Celine looked troubled. "That is what we must determine. But it must be significant enough to sway the council. Many still believe humans are too emotionally volatile, too unpredictable to form stable telepathic connections." Mia took Celine's hand. "We have 1 month to figure it out." Together over the following weeks, Mia and Celine considered various possibilities for their demonstration. They trained together, strengthening their bond. Mia learned to project her thoughts more clearly, while Celine practiced filtering human emotions without blocking them entirely. Their connection deepened until they could sense each other's presence across great distances. They also studied problems facing the Galactic Union. The fragile alliance between species was threatened by misunderstandings and competing interests. Trade disputes, border conflicts, cultural clashes, all stemmed from inability to truly comprehend other perspectives. 2 weeks before the demonstration, a Galactic Union emergency bulletin reached Lycia. A delegation of Dravari, a notoriously aggressive reptilian species, had arrived at Harmony Station demanding new territorial concessions. The Dravari claimed their homeworld was experiencing environmental collapse and they needed new colonies. The Union representatives feared the Dravari might resort to military action if their demands were rejected. Celine found Mia in her quarters reviewing the bulletin. "This could be our opportunity," she said. The Dravari are known for their territorial aggression and secretive nature. No one has successfully negotiated with them without conceding to their demands. You think we should offer to mediate? Mia asked. Selene nodded. If we could help resolve this crisis, through our combined abilities it would demonstrate the value of human-Lycian cooperation. The Dravari are resistant to telepathic scanning. They consider it invasive. But with our bond I might be able to sense their underlying emotions, while you interpret the cultural context. It's risky, Mia said. If we fail, the consequences could extend beyond our personal situation. The entire union could be affected. Selene took her hands. Sometimes the greatest risk offers the greatest reward. We must show, my people, that our bond serves a greater purpose, that together we can accomplish what neither human nor Lycian could achieve. Alone, Mia felt the weight of the decision, but also a surge of determination through their bond. She nodded. We're going to need ambassador support. Selene shook her head. Not your specific thoughts, they are sensing your emotional states and mental patterns. It is automatic. Like humans noticing facial expressions, they are curious, but trying to respect your privacy. The interior of the crystal structure was even more impressive than the exterior. Chambers flowed into one another without clear boundaries. Soft light emanated from the walls themselves. The air was fragrant with unfamiliar scents. Colors shifted across surfaces, responding to the presence of the Lycians. This will be your residence. Selene indicated a chamber that seemed to have been carved from a single massive gemstone. A bed of sorts consisted of a contoured surface covered with shimmering fabric. The walls pulsed gently with blue light. It is beautiful, Mia said. Selene touched a crystal formation on the wall. The walls will respond to your emotional states. You may find it disconcerting at first. Most living spaces on Lycia are telepathically responsive. The system has been modified to work with your biochemical signals instead. You prepared this for me? Mia asked, touched by the consideration. Selene nodded. I wanted you to feel welcome. The research exchange officially begins tomorrow. You will meet with the council observers in the morning. For now, you should rest. The telepathic atmosphere of Lycia can be draining for non-telepaths. After Selene left, Mia explored her new living space. She discovered that the lighting changed with her movements and that certain crystal formations served as controls for temperature and other environmental factors. The bed, though strange in appearance, proved surprisingly comfortable. The fabric adjusted to support her body perfectly. Despite her exhaustion, Mia found sleep elusive. Her mind buzzed with impressions of this alien world, so different from the metal and plastic environments of Earth stations, yet there was something organic about the crystal structures, as if they were living entities growing and responding to their inhabitants. When morning came, Mia was awakened by a subtle change in the lighting. The crystal walls brightened gradually, mimicking a sunrise. She dressed in the diplomatic uniform she'd brought, wondering if it would seem hopelessly primitive to the elegant Lycians. Selene arrived to escort her to the council observers. Her skin seemed to shimmer more vibrantly in her home environment. You slept well? She asked. Mia nodded. Yes, though everything feels so different here. The air even tastes different. Selene smiled, a gesture Mia suspected she'd adopted from human interaction. Most off-worlders find our atmosphere unusually rich in trace elements. The crystal structures release beneficial compounds. They walked through corridors that seemed to shift and change. Mia would have been hopelessly lost without Selene as her guide. Other Lycians passed them occasionally, each nodding respectfully to Selene while regarding Mia with undisguised curiosity. The observation chamber was a large dome with 7 Lycians seated in a semicircle. Elder Varia occupied the central position. Human Mia Rogers approach, she said. Her voice seemed to resonate within the crystal chamber. Mia stepped forward, conscious of every eye upon her. We have reviewed the reports of the incident aboard the Celestial Voyager. Elder Varia said, third daughter of House Zara, violated our most sacred principles by directly influencing the minds of the pirates. She claims her actions were necessary to protect you and the diplomatic mission. Do you confirm this account? Yes. Elder Mia replied, Celine saved not only my life but potentially the entire peace mission. Her actions prevented the pirates from taking all the diplomats hostage. The elder nodded. Another Lycian spoke, her skin patterned with green undertones. The bond initiated between you and Celine is unprecedented. We have detected unusual resonance patterns. The third daughter claims your mind naturally harmonizes with our thought structures. Is this something common among humans? No, Mia said honestly. I practice meditation and mental discipline techniques, but I'm not aware of any special ability to connect with telepaths. Third observer leaned forward. You are not afraid to be surrounded by beings who can sense your emotions, who could potentially influence your thoughts. Mia considered the question. I trust Celine. She said simply, and I believe in the ethical principles she has described to me about your people. The questioning continued for hours. The Lycian observers probed every aspect of her relationship with Celine, her mental disciplines, her understanding of their culture. Mia answered honestly, though she carefully avoided revealing the depth of her growing feelings for Celine. Finally, Elder Varia raised her hand, signaling an end to the session. The human will participate in a series of controlled observations. She announced, we will monitor the bond between her and the third daughter to determine if this represents a new possibility for human-Lycian relations or merely an anomaly. Over the following weeks, Mia was subjected to various tests and observations. She and Celine worked together on telepathic exercises designed to measure the strength and nature of their bond. Mia learned to project specific thoughts for Celine to receive. They discovered that while Mia could not receive telepathic communication in the way Lycians did, she could sense emotions and impressions through their connection between. Testing sessions, Celine showed Mia the wonders of her world. They visited the living gardens where plants responded to mental stimulation, blooming or changing colors at the direction of Lycian gardeners. They walked through the historical archives, where instead of books or digital records, memory crystals contained the direct experiences of ancestors. With each passing day, their bond grew stronger. Mia found herself increasingly aware of Celine's presence, even when they were physically separated. She could sense the Lycians' emotional states, recognizing patterns of thought that were uniquely Celine. One evening, as they watched the 3 moons of Lycia rise over the crystal spires, Celine turned to her. The observers are concerned, she said. Our bond has developed beyond their predictions. They fear I am becoming too influenced by your human emotions. Is that possible? Mia asked. Celine was quiet for a moment, her skin shimmering with complex patterns. Perhaps she finally said, we Lycians pride ourselves on emotional control, on rational thought. Yet when I am with you, I feel emotions I never knew existed. You make me question traditions that have guided my people for millennia. Is that so terrible? Mia asked, reaching for Celine's hand. Celine intertwined her long fingers with Mia's. Human emotions are powerful, she said. They can overwhelm reason. Yet they also create possibilities that pure logic would never discover. The Council fears this influence. They believe it destabilizes our society. Yet I find myself wondering if we have lost something in our pursuit of perfect harmony. Mia moved closer, resting her head against Celine's shoulder. What will happen when the observation period ends? Celine looked up at the moons. The Council will make their determination. They will either permit our continued association or order the severing of our bond. The severing, Mia repeated. Is that possible now that we've connected so deeply? Celine turned to face her, her eyes shimmering with emotion. It would be painful but possible. The memories would remain, but the telepathic connection would be broken. She paused. Unless what? Unless the bond has grown too deep to sever without causing permanent damage. Celine whispered. Some connections, once formed, become part of our neural structure. The observers have noted unusual patterns in our resonance. They have never seen a human and Lycian bond in this way. Mia felt hope and fear intertwine. What does that mean for us? I do not know. Celine admitted. But tomorrow the Council will announce their findings and everything may change. Now I'll create Part 4. The council chamber was filled with Lysians when Mia entered with Celine. At her side, Mia had worn her formal diplomatic uniform, the deep blue of Earth Alliance with silver trim. The Lysians wore flowing garments that seemed to shimmer with their emotions, creating subtle patterns of light and color. Elder Varia sat at the center of the council, her face impassive approach. Daughter of Earth, Elder Varia said, using the formal title the Lysians had given Mia, stepped forward, feeling the weight of hundreds of eyes upon her. Through her bond with Celine, she sensed anxiety and hope intermingled. For 3 cycles of our moons, we have observed the bond between you and the third daughter of House. Zara, Elder Varia began. We have analyzed the telepathic resonance patterns, the emotional transference, the mental synchronization. Never in our recorded history has such a bond formed between a Lysian and a human. The elder paused, looking directly at Mia. Our findings are troubling. The bond has altered Celine's thought patterns, introducing emotional variables that cloud judgment and reason. These are the very qualities that Lysian society has worked to transcend. Mia felt Celine's distress through their bond. She wanted to reach out to comfort her, but knew such a display would only confirm the council's concerns, equally concerning. Elder Varia continued, your human mind has absorbed Lysian thought structures. You have developed a rudimentary telepathic sensitivity, not through our technology, but through natural resonance. This suggests humans may have latent telepathic potential, a possibility our scientists had previously dismissed. Murmurs rippled through the assembled Lysians. Mia could feel waves of surprise and concern.